Hey guys, I'm Keychain. We've got patch version 5.13.5, and the things that they did during this is they reduced battle losses during PvP, which is nice because there's a lot of people quitting because they're getting 2, 3, 4 million troops wiped out in a single hit. They also introduced this new battle drills event. I'm going to go through that with you guys, show you how it works, show you the triangle, kind of how they want battle to work in this game. And also that the battle drills, you won't have any troop losses on tiles or encampments for the next couple of days. So you'll be able to test with your friends if you want. You won't be able to do it in the same alliance, but one of you can drop alliance, and you'll be able to send a march to a tile, hit it, and when you do that, everything comes back as a minor injury. So even if it's marches of 600,000 versus 600,000, it's all minor injuries, no kills. So you can do some testing on your marches and that type of stuff. All right, so let's do some battle drills. The other thing, so we can prove right away, and I noticed this right away before reading the patch, is that there are a lot less losses. And I noticed that in Musketeer's Fort right away with losing battles based on, so I've got my healing gear on right now, losing battles based on higher percentages. So now instead of seeing losses going straight to 0, you're seeing losses like this, where I've got 55% of my troops left. He's at 63. I still lost, but you see that the losses are much less. So this is going to make PvP like it was pre-guard patch, where you actually have to send multiple marches. You're going to have to try and break their formations. And what I mean by that is I sent a distance march, and if I look at these details, I'm going to see that he's even in here. Well, my first distance march killed a bunch of his distance, a bunch of his cavalry, but his infantry is still up. Or no, really opposite. That's his kills. His losses. I killed all of his infantry just about, and some of his cavalry, but all of his distance is alive. So then the next march I send, if this was a castle versus castle, I don't want to send another march of full distance, because cavalry will wreck them. What I'm going to want to send is a mixed march of cavalry and infantry to beat his two. So let's go down to the battle drills. It's up here. It's 3 days, 3 hours and 40 minutes approximately left. And basically it wants you to experiment in here and pick your troop types. So when you go to drill, it's going to give you some troops, and it says there's 2 cavalry guards and 10,000 cavalry. Well, they also put up here in the corner this little circle triangle here to show what beats what. So if we want to beat this, we need to select a full infantry march and 2 infantry guards. This one, that's your only choices. That's what it gives you. So you're going to deploy that. You hit drill, and it's going to tick down. Now you see how these ticks are going in little bounces? Those are combat rounds. And what I mean by that is each calculation is done in a round. It'll do a round of calculations, summarize the losses, injured, etc., set them to the side, and then it'll run another round. That's also how the guard skills are triggered, is a lot of them say, this will happen for 1 round, or this will happen for 2 rounds, etc. So that was a distance march. So we're going to use 2 cavalry in here. And what I mean is, see in here, what am I looking for? Chance of triggering critical hit. This one, the 35% chance of dealing damage to enemy troops each round. So each round of combat, there's a chance for this to trigger. And that's why we could also run these simulations multiple times and get different numbers. So this one we're going to run again, or this is the second one for the tutorial. We're going to run it and see that, I don't know if the tutorial will change, but that number was 5,464. So let's run it again, see if we get the same result. And that could get different results based on crits. So this one, there was only 3,127. So I didn't have as many troops left over, and that's just because of crits or dodges or triggered abilities one way or the other. So there's a lot of randomness to the guards still, but what they're trying to get across to you here in these drills is if someone's at, say, a tower or an encampment or something, and they have a full distance march, well, you want to send cavalry. In here, they're going to show you 2 rounds. So there's infantry. You want to use distance against them. So we're going to use full distance here. And we're going to use 2 distance guards. You can take your pick, and you can also experiment here. If you don't have these guards, you've got 3 choices. You can do, with 3 choices, a couple of different combinations. And see which ones come out the strongest. You can also mix and match infantry, cavalry, distance to see what happens. And then this last one, we're going to want to send infantry because of cavalry. Same thing, they give you 3 guards to test with. My favorites out of all of them is Constance. I seem to like that she has the critical hit, and then also this reduced infantry damage received. So she seems to be pretty consistent, and the crit chance that she gives is pretty high. This one it increases your guard's critical chance, which can be a good thing. But out of what I was testing earlier, she seems to give pretty good results. I said infantry, right? So let's run these drills. And we can rerun this one after to see, or rerun this one to see what happens. So we have 85-14 left, which is these are pretty good numbers. Let's change something around. Like most of us have been doing this, 10%. Oh, they didn't give us infantry, so we'll wait to test this one actually. We'll test in the real deal after this tutorial. So cavalry, you want to use 2 infantry guards and full infantry. And then distance, you want to use cavalry against distance. So we'll pick 2 random guards. I don't think it actually matters much during the tutorial. But yeah, you can see that they're kind of starting to give us some tools to try and figure out the combat. And I like the change with, even though it's temporary, to be able to test on tiles without taking any losses. It gives us some time to actually experiment with the game and not take losses, and do it in a way that you can use, people that have similar stats, or people who have much higher stats, and seeing what you can take. You put 500,000 or 300,000 troops on a tile and see what they can crush it with. So then here we need infantry, and you guys will see the theme here where they just want you to use the right troop type, and for the most part you're just going to win outright. In one of the next levels they did throw a curveball in there, and I'll show you guys what that is if you're still watching. And what they did is they basically did sets of purple guards and sets of gold guards in the same round of 3, but for the same type. So then out of your guards, you have to match up the strength of your guards against the others. And they also gave us 30 guard resets, which is nice, so that you have some additional options to reset some cards that you might not use, or that you may have mistakenly leveled up and you don't want them. So in here, this is another split troop type. So we'll just use the the 3 counters, and they're starting to give us some more guards in here to experiment with. And if I'm going too fast, I apologize. I'm just filling in based on the troops and the counter that's up here in the corner. So I'm just glancing at that. You're going to want to memorize this so that you know what's what, and these drills will help you drill, basically get that knowledge into your memory so that you can remember it. So then we'll run this drill, and we should win all 3 because there's no curveballs in this round. But you see, basically each of these ticks, it's about 5 rounds of combat is what these are coming down to. And I think that to minimize the total losses, they probably set a cap on the rounds of combat. So this is one where it's not quite a curveball yet, but almost. So there's 2 different cavalry marches here. So the guards are evened out, so you're going to want to even your guards out so that you don't lose. So infantry, if I sent my 2 strongest infantry guards here, I might end up losing in this later round where I also want infantry. It'll probably end up okay because it's a gold and a purple versus a gold and a purple. And we'll find out in just a second. In the real game, you're going to want to use your highest guards, and you're going to want to build different types of marches, multiple cavalry marches, multiple distance marches, so that you can adjust to your opponent and kind of try and strategically take them apart. So this one we had quite a bit of troops left. We ended up with just under half. This one we ended up over half, which is really good. And this one was a little bit closer, but still pretty much a breeze. Same thing here. So this one, they're split. So you just want to use 2 distance marches, roll over these infantry, and it doesn't matter the order that they're in. Oops, I think I messed that one up, didn't I? I did. See, okay, well, let's see what happens with this. So I'll show you what happens when you mess up. I'm sending distance, but I'm sending the wrong guards. So let's do that, and I'll show you how much the guards matter. Almost positive I'll lose this one, but we'll see. And then down here, we want to use infantry. These 2 pair really well together. Henry and, what's her name? Inez, just because of her abilities. The thing that I don't know if they have it tuned is you want to do something called speed tuning here. And what I mean by that is you want her to go first. And that's because she gives the incentive effect, but he also triggers based off of incentive. So his wall of shields, if the troops are under an incentive effect, the shield value is increased by 16%. So this 38% goes up to 54%, which is pretty high. But for that to happen, you want her to go first. So you want her speed to be 1 faster than Henry's, so that she goes first, has a chance to trigger incentive, he goes right after, and he can trigger the shields. And that'll give you a maximum kind of benefit. So let's see what happens on this first one with the wrong guards but the right troop type. Oh, so you see what happens there? We got absolutely wrecked. We used the right troop type, right? But we used the wrong guards, and the guards make a huge difference. So let's try that again. Let's try it with just 1 distance guard and see what the difference is there. Let's throw him in here and run the drills. So let's see if it's a little bit more even. Not quite, a little bit better, but still they've got, 47,000 of their troops left. So let's run this one more time with the proper guards. So 2 distance guards in here is going to make all the difference. 2 distance guards with max distance versus the infantry. Now we should win this one. So see how much of a difference that made? It swung it back in the other favor, made a difference of like 70,000 troops, because we have 35,000 in the positive, whereas before he had 45,000 in the positive. So that's a big swing. So that's why you want to make sure that your guards match your troop type. Now here should be one of the curveballs. So they've got two distance types here. Now watch what happens when we're going to throw cavalry versus this one. And we're going to use our best cavalry guards up here. And down here we have infantry. Let's see. Cavalry versus distance. Distance versus infantry. So let's use one of the combos that I like the best, and a lot of people seem to agree, is Prince and Maupin, although they put in there that they changed, or rather optimized him and him as these two. Optimizing, I don't know if that means reducing their strength or buffing them up. I'm guessing they reduced their strength. I think that they were too strong. Now down here we'll send a second cavalry march, but we don't have as strong of guards left over. So let's see what happens when you send a gold and a purple versus 2 gold. And also because of that, see, they've got 120,000 here. We've only got 100,000. So let's run this drill. We should smash the top one by a large margin. So yeah, we've got 56% of our troops left. Ooh, that one in the middle was really close. Oh, the bottom one's super close. We're gonna have to try this again. So see, we had, what, 14,000 left here? Now let's swap these sets. So what I did there is I swapped the guards around. So now my 2 gold guards down here are facing the 2 gold guards here. And I've got a gold and a purple versus 2 gold. And now the top one will have less of a marginal win, but then the bottom one should be a victory as well. And it's close, but looks like we pulled out ahead with 21,000 troops left. And collecting rewards. Now the last one in today's tutorial, I think this one has another similar situation. So it's got cavalry here. It's got 2 purple versus 2 gold. The top one has 120,000 troops, but it's 2 gold. So we're going to use infantry against both of these again. And infantry guards. I like this combo of these two, but we may have to drop them down to fight this. The other thing you can do is if you want to experiment, you can mess with your formations. Like a good one to mess with your formations on would be one where it's distance, and they give you the option of using infantry, so that you could use 10,000 infantry and the rest distance, or something similar. So let's see what happens on these. I have a feeling we're gonna lose the top one, or lose the middle one. We'll see. The middle one will be close. So we won all 3, but you can see the difference here. Well, if it would give me more chance to actually look at it, but the one with the gold guards had a much higher troop percentage left. So they want you to use gold guards. They want you to use guards of the same type, and they want you to use the counteracting troops. And these are going to reset 3 times, I believe. So you'll get to do this, actually get to do this a total of today plus 3 more times. So you'll get a bunch of rewards for this. It'll be pretty nice. Last thing to talk about is this new firework event, Light Up the Night. So in this one, it's similar to the building the airship and the swimming pool and whatever other things they've had us do, where you just do the things that you're supposed to do on here, these dailies every day, and then you can donate your torches, and there's a randomness, but if the kingdom achieves these goals, everybody gets these rewards, and then you get personal rewards based on your progress. So the last time this event came around, there was no purchasable items. You could not buy these. So it was totally random, and working hard actually gave you a chance to get on the leaderboard. And I actually got, I think, 3rd with my farm and 7th with my main, because I just completed every single torch quest every single day. This time around you can buy the items. So I'm not going to bother because one of these guys already bought and he's got 18,000 points. Whereas even if I donate, I'm going to donate my 16 right now and let's see what I come out as. But I'm guessing I'll have somewhere around 1,800 to 2,000 points. So there's no way I'm going to compete with somebody who's already got 18,000. So there's no pressure for me to really push on this event to try and get a super high score or anything like that. There's not really super good rewards that are worth, going pay to win for, at least not in my opinion. Like badges, yeah, maybe you want to max this out, but for $5 you can get way more than these badges. Glory banners you can get every day. These are just given away all the time. And then the leaderboard ranks, 10,000 gold and a couple of level 5 intensity gears and some Raven Sapphires. And to me, this stuff isn't worth getting in a spending war over somebody over. I think that's about it on things that I wanted to cover today and show you guys. I guess I'll throw on a little bit of alchemy at the end because I seem to like doing that in the videos. If I have enough. Yeah, I've got enough to do some. So I've also found that I like to check this automatically supplemented and see what it, after this first set of 10, it's going to randomly choose for me. And that seems to have pretty good results when you run it 10 times. So I got 7 scrolls here. Let's go again and see what it gives me. 14 scrolls and advanced shadow scrolls. I don't think I have enough to run 10 more. Maybe I do. So advanced, regular, and advanced shadow scrolls. And I'm out of dust. So I didn't count these up beforehand to see if I had 90. If I had a perfect 90, then that's crazy. If not, it gave me credit and let me use dust I didn't have to get those last 10 in. And I'm not sure if that is a mistake or not. I guess I'll have to watch it back and see if I had a perfect 90 and I just had streamer luck. But don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. You guys can add me on Discord if you have questions or comments or suggestions for videos. You can leave those in the comments on YouTube or send me a Discord friend request. And I will see you guys in the next video.